So today I want to talk about the EA Gamechanger program and put forward the case that it has a bad impact on the gaming community as a whole. Reason being, there has recently been a particular instance of confusion regarding the program as well as the expectations surrounding it. And with the launch of Anthem, it has become increasingly obvious that while the idea for the Gamechanger program may, on a very basic level, be good, its effects and behind the scenes curation are not. Two reasons the Gamechanger program is even worth discussing are, number one, there is no real equivalent group anywhere else in the gaming space that I could find, and number two, it is associated with EA, which, like it or not, has an atrocious track record of anti-consumer behavior and has subsequently landed itself at the center of the buyer distrust circle. The closest equivalent program that I could find is Ubisoft Star Players, or Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, wherever you're from, doesn't really matter. Now, to be quite clear, I personally know quite a few of both the Gamechangers and Star Players, so this is not a blanket attack on the individuals who comprise the programs, more so an evaluation of why the EA Gamechanger initiative itself is a terrible thing. The key difference between Ubisoft Star Players and EA Gamechangers is that Star Players are appointed by Ubisoft themselves without application, and are typically flown out for a single event. Perhaps E3, perhaps something else, it doesn't matter. They get to play a few games, go on a cool trip, but then it's over. They are usually prominent community figures, but it's not a specific requirement that they be a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, or other creator. They are sometimes cosplayers, vocal community participants, or those that give exceptional feedback. The EA Gamechanger program is not a one-off instance. When creators, or pro players, as stipulated specifically on their website, are welcomed into the program, they are then privy to special access across a wide spread of games, on a continual basis. They are flown out for parties, brought in to gather pre-release footage, and allowed to be first in line with insider information. The Gamechanger program also has a training segment. This is one of the descriptive boxes on their official sign-up portal. In essence, EA helps creators grow their channel by throwing its resources behind them in collaboration with YouTube, Twitch, and other individual creators themselves. Taking this into consideration, it becomes clear the Gamechanger program is about building up creators in close partnership with EA. Now, I cannot speak for how well they follow through on these promises, but this is based on what the program is, not how well it works. It is also stated on their site, and I quote, "Our Gamechangers receive unparalleled access to exclusive content, and furthermore, in addition, we offer multiple opportunities to create sponsored content. And as is clear within the industry, sponsored content specifically refers to content that has been paid for, which establishes a self-proclaimed link between the Gamechanger program and increased revenue opportunities." Now it's time to discuss a situation that only just happened a couple of days ago. I am a bit late to the topic, a lot of other creators have already covered it, but as a result I am able to tell the entire story, start to finish, and extrapolate some deeper conclusions instead of simply reacting to the initial headline. The recent situation was an Anthem review by a YouTuber named GGGmanLives, which was taken down by EA. The chain of events is as follows. GGGman posted an Anthem review, which was honest, straightforward, and quite negative as he highlighted problematic areas within the game. GGGman also is an EA Gamechanger, and had the EA Gamechanger watermark displayed on the video. Immediately after posting it, EA forced its removal, and GGGman took to Twitter to discuss the events. At one point, he tweeted, "I am blacklisted now," and had to delete it after fans inquired as to why the video was unavailable. Well, EA was very quick to respond and claimed the following. "Our Gamechangers program is not designed to pay for review content. We don't believe in that. In this case, the conditions for disclosure for this specific video were not met, which is something we adhere very strictly to. Very strictly to, that's important. So we asked for it to be taken down and corrected. We've not asked for the content of the video to be changed or blacklisted the creator. Our full disclosure rules can be found here, and there's a link to their website." When we head over to the linked guidelines, we find their disclosure policies, but this is where things fall apart for EA as they write themselves into a corner. On the one hand, under the Gamechanger disclosure policy, it states, Gamechangers have full editorial control over their content and storylines. EA does not approve Gamechanger content, opinions, or creative choices. The Gamechanger watermark was the one used by GGGman in his review, but since his review was paid for, as he confirmed himself, the Gamechanger watermark was not the correct mark to display. Instead, the video must have a Sponsored by EA tag. When examining the Sponsored by EA description, however, we need to pay attention to the specific language. Even with greater EA approvals required for sponsored videos, we always strive to make the editorial and production choices live with the individual creators producing them. The key word here is try. EA claims a completely hands-off approach to the Gamechangers program if all watermarks and disclosures are placed properly, but they twist the wording and admit that the approach is not hands-off and that they try to let creators have freedom when they produce sponsored content, but in reality, they do not. Now, this is not to say that moderation should not exist when talking about paid content, because there obviously needs to be in some capacity. A company cannot pay for grossly inappropriate content with their branding present, and I am not faulting them for this, but all of it will tie together soon. The Gamechanger program, specifically, is proclaimed as unmoderated and unrestricted, while the sponsorships are not. Since GGG-Man had been paid for his review, the Gamechanger watermark was incorrect and EA claimed the video was taken down until it displayed the sponsored by EA watermark instead. But GGG-Man immediately re-uploaded the video with no watermarks at all, and that video is still online and has not been touched. And if we remember, they strictly enforce the sponsored content, and that includes the watermarks. Now, after hearing about this, I myself took to Twitter and had a very interesting exchange. I began with a two-part tweet about the situation. So, GG Dogra is his Twitter handle, posted an honest, well-crafted review of Anthem that was, as a result, negative. He is also an EA Gamechanger. EA then, as far as I know, blacklisted him and forced the video to be taken down till the Gamechanger watermark was gone. The second part reading, if that is not proof that you must be a literal shill to be in the Gamechanger program, I don't know what is. A little reactionary, a little abrasive, but honestly, I like it that way. Gotta shake the tree and see what falls down. Well, jackpot. In comes Lauren. Now, I don't know Lauren, but she claimed the situation was a lie and took EA's side. I obviously asked her about the article since I was already aware of the breach of disclosure claim made by EA, but still had my various doubts. She replied with an article which I had already seen. I maintained that this did not change my current stance due to lack of clarity. She then went on to claim it was a legal issue that concerned the FTC, which is in fact correct, but I'm not sure where the assumption came from that I would somehow be unaware of that fact. Anyways, at this point I was confused, and asked her if she had misread the article and outlined that removal of the first video for not using the proper watermark, but not removing the second, despite the fact it still did not have their claimed proper branding, especially if it is an actual legal issue, is where EA's position falls apart. She then says no, she did not see the update on the article that she herself linked me to prove her own point, that didn't prove her point.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
But whatever, okay. I then reaffirmed that the discrepancy in enforcement of their watermark guidelines points to the fact that a technicality was used to strip EA branding off of negative content, in direct contradiction to their disclosure policy claims. And she ends the discussion with the assumption that EA may just not want to fuel the fire, an assumption that cannot be entertained considering it is a legal matter, and not wanting a little negative PR does not constitute ignoring FTC paid content disclosure policy. Now, you may be asking, why does any of this matter? Because if you click one more time and go to her home page, her pinned tweet is an acceptance video wherein she thanks EA for a Gamechanger award at a special Gamechanger ceremony. The rest of the thread is just a bunch of jokes me and a member of my core team made, like what Gamechangers do when someone criticizes EA, or you can't spell Lauren without EA. It's just stupid stuff. Now though, it's time to examine a video by a creator named Footfreak. He was kicked out of the EA Gamechanger program and published a video in August of 2018. Now in that video, he is extremely diplomatic and claims full responsibility. He says EA is not to blame, he broke their rules and thus was removed from the program. However, it is very important to know what rules he broke.
My latest video, before this one, is the reason that I was kicked out of the program, because there are certain rules that Gamechangers are supposed to follow. For example, this one where you aren't supposed to actually use any information that was leaked out by sources that are not by EA. So basically what happened there was someone actually went into the game and looked at the source code or something and got the information which I as a Gamechanger was not supposed to promote in any way.
He talks about how he was removed from the program for discussing leaked information which is specifically against their rules. Gamechangers cannot discuss leaked information on EA products that does not come directly from EA themselves. This runs in direct contradiction to their claim that Gamechangers are in full control of their content. They are not. This makes no differentiation between false leaks or entirely true leaks, and once information regarding a product is made available, by whatever means, and is out in the world or on the internet, it's there to stay and it's fair game for discussion. Since the Gamechanger program has direct and self-professed links to paid content opportunities, it can be assigned a fiscal value. Not to mention access values and advanced information, game products, and more. All of those count too. GGG-Man published a video that contained Gamechanger branding, but was voiced with a negative undertone. EA used a technicality derived from a legal disclosure position to take the video down, but did not do the same for his subsequent re-upload, even though, if their claim is to be believed, it's still violated their rules in the exact same way. There are also instances, as shown by Footfreak, that highlight how their claim of creator autonomy is not accurate, and there are indeed content restrictions, topic censorship, and guidelines placed on Gamechanger content. I also would expect that a deep dive into the issue would unearth additional inconsistencies. The Gamechanger program helps creators grow in partnership with EA as a promotional tool to help them sell products and govern the flow of information, as proven by their emphasis on non-dispersal of leaked info. And all of this is underlined by the fact that when following these rules, Gamechangers get special trips, awards, prizes, and opportunities to grow their channel while pushing the agenda of one of the most hated companies in the world on a continual basis. EA refuted the claim made by GGG-Man that he was blacklisted. Whether or not this is an instance in which EA lied or GGG-Man jumped the gun and assumed, it doesn't really matter because the whole issue highlighted inconsistencies in EA's own description of their program versus how it is executed and enforced. All of this comes together to outline why exactly the Gamechanger program has such a negative reputation overall. And I am not creating this video to say that every single participant within its structure is terrible or evil or anything of the sort, but the program would not exist if it did not further the agenda of EA, while the company simultaneously executes some of the most anti-consumer behavior in the entire gaming space. Some Gamechangers, emphasis on some, maintain some of their autonomy and are unmitigated in the pursuit of fair and honest content coverage, but not all. And the stone cold truth is that the program, with its rewards and content restricting framework, absolutely does impact objectivity. Creators willing to play ball and advance their position within such an environment are undeniably affected in some capacity. The Gamechanger program is also unique in the space and has such a negative stigma because most people see it for what it is, a carrot on a stick to get positive media influence from creators and further the agenda of an anti-consumer company. And that is why I view the entire Gamechanger initiative to be completely and utterly unappealing while also negatively impacting the games industry. That's it for today though. This video is not a call to action for inappropriate behavior. Gamechangers are people too, albeit people who seem to have a blurred sense of allegiance in the war against corporate greed. Do not use this as an excuse to harass anyone, ever, but understand what the program really is and why it is a very bad thing. I'll wrap it up there and stop rambling. We have various links to support down below, esports merchandise, various gaming communities, and some more, but this video is already long enough, more than long enough, so thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.